Wow. UFC 276 just finished up, guys. Pretty good, man. Pretty good card. Definitely the highlight for me was Volkanovski and Holloway, but we'll get right into it from the top. Results from the top, obviously. Israel Adesanya getting the unanimous decision over Jared Cannonier. Bit of a, same sort of style fight as he's had. Cannonier threw a little bit more in there. Volkanovski get the 50-45 across the board win over Holloway. We had Alex Pereira showing up and showing out at 185. We will most likely get the next shot at Adesanya. Barbarena and Lawler, good fight. Barbarena getting the finish, and then to cap off, a bit weird to kick things off with O'Malley and Pedro, but happens. I'm sure they'll run it back. What are your thoughts, man?
I reckon, Pedro and Sean should just be run back immediately, providing Pedro's eye isn't scratched or anything. It was a competitive fight. I had Pedro up in the first. I had Sean winning the second up until then. So I'd run that back right away. It's pretty competitive. In terms of Barbarena and Lawler, good fight. Lawler looked good. I think there probably should be a conversation maybe about him potentially calling it. He's 5 out of his last 6, and the Nick Diaz win is a little, Going on to the co-main, I did have Strickland winning. I was pretty surprised that Pereira finished it in that
Pereira
sort
title shot. Pereira title shot.
Well, there's nothing really else at middleweight anyway. So unless
for me, I think that's the best challenge, though. Out of anyone who's faced him, I think that's the best challenge. It's kind of like Izzy versus Izzy in a sense, where they're both as good as strikers. Izzy's as good a striker as they come, but if anyone's going to match him, if there's anyone going to be close to Izzy, and we've seen it because he's knocked him out twice in kickboxing, is Pereira. So I actually like that more than just, he should be next because there's no one else. But I think it actually excites me. That fight is a fight where, if Pereira can clip him again, who's to say he can't knock him out again? But I don't know.
He could. I think MMA striking, kickboxing striking, I don't think it would. I feel like it would be more of a draw sort of fight if they were to fight. Like, I think it would be way more technical. I don't think anyone would get knocked out, to be honest. Co-main was very surprising. I didn't expect to see Volkanovski show out like that. I thought it was going to be a draw going into it, not during the fight.
I thought it was going to be a lot closer than what it was. To me, it doesn't make sense how far-fetched, how far away Holloway was to Volkanovski. There was a massive gap in terms of the whole fight. You saw the first two, based off the first two fights, I was 100% with you. I was like, I can see a draw, or I was leaning towards Volkanovski. But a draw made more sense to me. If you'd have told me he'd go out there and just 50-45 him, especially after Holloway's wins over Yair and Calvin, which was so dominant, it makes you think how dominant he was over them, how good Volkanovski is. I like I said to you on Messenger, I don't want to see him face Emmett next. I could give two shits if they fight. That doesn't excite me. I think Volkanovski kind of deserves and should go up to 55, provided that fight with Islam or Charles gets booked relatively soon. But fuck, he is just. I was nervous, but midway through the fight, my nerves started coming down, and by the 4th and the 5th, I was just chilling. I was like, wow, it was unbelievable. Like, I think he has to be in the conversation now of 45 GOAT. I really think so.
Yeah, he probably is at this. It's probably either him or Aldo. If you were going to make a choice, him beating Max 3 times kind of takes that away. So it is either Volkanovski or Aldo. It depends what you put more stock in, whether it's the longevity or the resume of Volkanovski and Holloway. That was probably one of the worst cuts I've seen in terms of deep. You could see the Q-tip literally kind of getting swallowed by the skin on the sides. That was one of the worst cuts I've seen.
I was actually quite surprised. I thought maybe they were going to stop it. There was a point
I think if it was anyone else, they would have. Like if it was Cater there or Yair or actually, I don't know about Ortega. They might have let Ortega go, but I think, if it was anyone else, they would have stopped it. But in terms of where they both go, Volkanovski, either Emmett or 55. 55's interesting because there's new challenges. I think there's some that he can win. I think there's some that really give him a tough time.
Who gives him the tough best at 55 if it's between Islam or Charles?
Charles, I think, just because Charles, I think, has that dog in him that will find a way to win. And I think Charles' length and height could be an issue. And Charles can crack as well. Like, he put Gaethje down. So, not that Volkanovski can't win, but I think Charles just presents interesting dangers. Similar thing as well as if Charles just gets around you, you just done.
Yeah.
It's like that meme of Michael Chandler. It's like what it's like fighting Charles Oliveira, and there's like 8 limbs and stuff. Going into the main event, look, a little bit of a lackluster fight, at least for me, a little bit lackluster. And I enjoy the high level technical striking. That's good, but I don't know if it was a case of I was just burnt out from the fight before that because that was just a beating. But lackluster fight, good performance, very good performance by Izzy. Probably not the one he wanted because I know he wanted this to be his Forrest Griffin, Anderson Silva performance.
Yeah.
In terms of where he goes, we've already touched on it. It's pretty much Pereira, or there's nothing really else at least at 185 currently. In terms of that, that is essentially a brief overview of the main card. Prelims, I'd say my fighter of the night on the prelims was Jaylin Turner. I think what he did to Brad Riddell was just. And I think Jaylin Turner is going to be a big star. Not a star, but a big contender in the division.
I think so. My fighter of the prelims was definitely Jaylin Turner. My fight of the prelims was Dricakis du Plessis versus Brad Tavares. I don't know if you watched that, but that was...
Yeah, I did. That was a good fight.
Jesus, that was a good fight. That was back and forth and 29-28, I think, across all three, which shows you how close it was. Great fight, but pretty good card. I mean...
It's hard to follow up the cards that we've had the last 3 weeks. There was Texas, there was Singapore, there was another one somewhere that I'm forgetting, but we had 3 in a row that were like sensational. So it's hard to follow that.
Nevertheless, still a good card. And then I suppose end of this month, which I think is pretty fucking exciting, Nunes and Pena rematch, and then we've obviously got Kai Kara France and Brandon Moreno too.
I'm very excited for that fight. I'm very.
What are your thoughts on?
Do
you think Poirier and Chandler gets booked then?
Yeah, I think after what happened at the fight with them getting into an altercation, I think that's pretty much guaranteed to get booked. It's a good fight. I think Chandler would take it, but what would you give the card out of 10? If you had to give it out of 10, what would you give it?
I'm
sitting at about a 7.
7.5.
Yeah.
Probably 7.5, 8. 8 depending on who you ask. But don't get me wrong, the prelims were fun. Quite a few finishes. Rose Clark got arm broken in half. Dricakis and Brad was a sick fight. Jaylin Turner got the finish early. Miller got the finish. And then who else was on there? There's one more I'm forgetting.
Jessica. Was it Jessica Eye and
Macy Bar?
Yeah.
And that was a good fight too. That was a good back and forth fight. So prelims were pretty good. Sometimes the prelims don't always live up to it, but they were pretty stacked prelims. So,
and before we forget, sorry to interrupt, but before we forget, quick shout out to Jessica Eye for retiring and also to Cowboy's last fight.
Yeah. Sad
to see, but happy he's riding off before things start to go quite downhill. In terms of the career.
I'm kind of happy he rode the shit out of it as well. Like he didn't leave thinking he had more in the tank. He didn't leave going, what if? He left going, I don't like this anymore. Okay, if that's what I'd hate to see, the guy who goes, I think I've still got one more left in me. Yeah. And he comes back and just gets flatlined. And I was like, man, you should have just left it. But he's realized, time's up. Fucking unbelievable career. But I think, it is the right time for Cowboy. I love Cowboy. How can you not? Everyone loves Cowboy, but unfortunately, it's just his time. Few guys retiring this year, which is kind of sad, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it's kind of like the generation or a lot of the generation that we both came up watching MMA with are kind of retiring. It's eerie and sad, but it is what it is. It's the nature of the sport. But, well, look, I reckon, about a 7 out of 10 card. It was pretty good. This is just our instant reaction now. Our thoughts. We haven't even watched the presser yet. So, for all we know, all sorts of fun information and tidbits could come out. But, really good card. Looking forward to the next one. And just a quick a quick, cheap little plug. Our channel passed 100 subs, which is pretty cool for us. Really stoked about that. And we just appreciate everyone that's been listening in and helping us out. We do appreciate it. And yeah, we're just looking to continue to grow and chip away and do what we're doing.
Hopefully have Cody Stamen on this weekend to chat his win over Eddie Weiland a few weeks ago. So that'll be cool. Stay tuned for that. And also our interview from this morning with Julio Arce comes out tomorrow or early this week. So stay tuned for that as well.
Yep, cool. All right, guys. Well, we'll leave you there and we'll catch you guys on our next episode.
Peace.